What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another session. Penthouse therapy, baby. From the one and only place, John's mom's attic.
I'm not even going to comment on that again.
It's all right, man. Like I said, people need to know the truth. How are you, bro? I missed you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I miss our conversations.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Good. How's your week going?
My week was very interesting because you didn't, apparently, because you're from the great area of New Jersey that you're from. But I made it through, so I suffered, right? So apparently for those of you who don't know, there was a little mishap with social media. And apparently...
The blackout?
Yeah, the blackout. So apparently I had people say it was on Twitter. I had people say it was on Facebook. I only had it on Instagram, where I would go on my page and I wouldn't see any of my posts. It would have a little like refresh thing, the recycle.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Wow. And it wouldn't load. And then on the feed, when I would like a picture, right, I would like it and then go whatever to like it again. And then I would close Instagram and then I would go back up. The like was gone. So I was like, this is weird. And then it wasn't until, and I thought it was just me. I was like, maybe it's because I have no service.
What kind of pictures were you liking?
I'm not going to say. But
that's why the likes were important.
But
go ahead.
So it wasn't until I got home. It wasn't like later on in the day when I got home, I saw that people were like sharing memes or whatever on Facebook saying, "Oh yeah, I survived the blackout."
Made it through
the blackout. All that stupid shit. So and then once I think 9 p.m. rolled around, it went back to normal. You know, I was like,
Dude, I got none of that, and maybe I was just oblivious to it. But literally, I got home at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I was cooking. I got home yesterday. I want to make some food.
Thanks for the invite.
I was starving.
Facts.
I didn't want to spend money, so I made some food yesterday. But regardless, I got home, and I'm cooking, kind of going on social media, while the stuff is in the oven or whatever. And everything was fine. I had no idea that something was wrong. On my Instagram, I was scrolling normally. I had no problem, doing anything really. Twitter was definitely okay for me because I'm on Twitter more than I am on anything.
Yeah.
Especially the last couple of days for NFL free agency, but that was fine. And Facebook, same thing.
Shout out Jets.
That was
yeah,
I didn't have any issues. That was really weird. And then later on in the night, I saw people saying "Oh, made it through this, made it through that," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I have nothing happened to my social media at all. So I don't know. It sucks that you had to experience that, but I had no idea.
Consider yourself one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, but how does that even happen? How is it that
I don't know, man. Blame Zuckerberg, whatever he's doing,
mad
dude.
People. He's all these issues. And
he's a scumbag, dude.
Yeah, it was WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram are all down.
Really? Oh, so Twitter wasn't affected.
Nah.
Okay, so that's good.
Different company.
Twitter. I thought Twitter would break with the NFL free agency.
Twitter
tweeting like crazy.
Shout out,
especially after Odell went to the Browns. It was must have been Twitter must have been going nuts. But anyway, shout out to that because Browns are on the up and come up.
But so with that being said,
beat the Ravens. That's all I care about.
Oh my God,
just destroy the Ravens.
So that's very funny because I cannot tell you. Granted, a lot of the people, when I saw those things, when I saw the people I survived the blackout, whatever, some of them were just being funny, but some of them...
people were serious.
Some people were serious.
Crazy.
Some people were serious. And it was the serious ones that were in, I want to say, granted, I'm not friends with, it's going to sound weird. I'm not friends with young people on Facebook. It's all people that, I graduated with or people my age. But some of the people that I know that are low 20s, anywhere from 20 to 22 years old, were sharing that. And I was just
yeah,
who cares?
Yeah.
God forbid one day you can't post a picture.
And that's all it was.
Of your ass.
It wasn't even a full day.
On Instagram.
It wasn't even a full day.
So true. So true.
And it wasn't even a full day.
Though,
And it wasn't even a full day.
No, that's so true, man.
Which I found, and that's what I was gonna say. It's funny because I'm 28, you're 26,
yes,
right? So we grew up. Relax, we're not that old. Yeah. So we grew up.
You're older than I am.
Barely.
John.
We grew up. I got to experience the 90s. I got to experience it. Okay, I was an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old watching Nickelodeon, Cartoon
life
Network.
without a cell phone.
Life without bullshit.
Life without a cell phone every single day.
Yeah, but internet wasn't ruling. The only thing we knew about the internet back then was that you can sit in a chair, get hacked in with a lead pipe in the back of your head like the Matrix, and the internet was fake. That's the only thing we knew back then.
E-bombs world.
Okay, and free pornography, but we got to experience it, and I say we because you're what 93.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not for you fools out there. Okay, and this is 1,000% taking a shot because we've had this conversation before. You know,
Yes.
all these people out there who were born in 1998, and they're like, "Ha, yeah, 90s babies."
1994
Dude,
is the last
if you
year.
were shitting your pants when 9/11 happened, you were not a 90s baby. You didn't see it happen.
No need to bring up 9/11, but it's okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you could have said 2001.
Okay, but you know what's okay? But I know why I bring that up because
Y2K.
Y2K. But I bring that up,
Y2K?
dude. I listen to Britney Spears. No homo. I listen to Backstreet Boys.
What?
Great band. Pat, I was in.
Dude, like I said,
I was in 5th grade. I was in 5th grade when 9/11 happened, and I remember till this day walking across like
Yeah, dude.
the street and seeing smoke from because like where our high school is, it's like elevated, so like it's a straight shot to New York. It's, all, it's
yeah.
you know like we're like above sea level, and
Barely.
wow,
Dude, 94 is the last year you can call yourself a 90s baby. That's just.
I'll
that's it.
get
94, really?
Yeah, because you're in 1999, 1998. You can already you're
and
walking,
even 96. You're born 96.
No.
You're 4 in
94.
1999. Yeah.
If you're 95, you're 5 years old in 2000. So like that.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't.
Nope.
Nope.
I
don't-
think there's an exception to that. The exception being if you had an older sibling. So like Laura, she's a 94 baby. But,
She's a 90s baby.
well, I guess she just made the cutoff.
She made the cutoff.
But
Yeah.
like her having an older sister who like loved like, you know, like Disney movies and all 90s stuff. Like
Yeah, she shared a lot of that with her.
like expanded her like
Mhm.
quote unquote 90s like era.
But
Gotcha.
do you remember that? Do you remember, dude?
Oh, I loved it, bro.
Dude,
I loved
Rugrats.
it.
Hey Arnold.
Dude, literally.
Legends of the Hidden Temple,
You
dude.
sit down on
Good
Saturday
cartoons.
Morning. Yeah, you would sit down on Saturday morning and just enjoy cartoon after cartoon.
Dude, perfect
after
example.
cartoon.
Perfect example is the bullshit that's been going on with the little Momo thing. Can you imagine if we had that shit in the 90s? Can you imagine? Dude, that thing scared me, bro.
Yeah, that shit was freaky.
That thing is horrendous.
Yeah, that Momo thing is fucking freaky.
Oh my
dude.
god.
Dude, what freaks me out is like her mouth.
Yeah.
Like the
dude,
shape of her mouth.
Dude, we were talking about
is
that.
the weirdest shit.
We were
bro.
talking about that on Xbox, and my room out here, like, you know, to go downstairs is you know, if it's 11 o'clock at night, the lights are off. Can you imagine opening up your door, like one night you're playing Xbox, open up your door,
I'm not gonna lie.
and you see that shit?
Oh my god, I'm not gonna lie. I had a weird. I don't know if it was a dream, but she was at the this Momo face was at the foot of my bed. Dude.
Oh, shotgun. Give me shotgun.
Dude, straight up, like I was so scared. No, that Momo shit is legit. But that's the thing though. Back in the day, we didn't have tablets like that where we can like watch shit like that, you know, by mistake,
Dude,
like
don't
as a child.
Don't even get me started
and get exposed to it, bro.
on kids with tablets.
Yeah, man.
I walk into a
It's
ShopRite
scary, bro.
or a Walmart and I see a 4-year-old kid
It's
who
scary.
can't even wipe their ass correctly, and they're over on Google or Snapchat
Yeah,
with a
or
tablet.
YouTube, just watching videos. Like,
Are
like
you
shit
that
like
dull of a parent that you
Here's-
can't
here's
entertain
the-
your child?
Here's the thing about that, dude. Parents nowadays, and it's no knock on parent. Being a parent is not easy. That's not what I'm saying.
Absolutely not. I
But
agree.
here's the thing about a lot of parents nowadays, and I've talked about this with people who work in that field, right? A lot of parents now, dude, want
Parenting field?
parenting or like medical field or things like that.
Okay.
Like a nurse.
People want to talk.
Ooh.
People want to shut down. People want kids to be quiet,
Yeah.
like instead of giving them attention, because kids are gonna be running around. They're crazy, but they want to train a kid like they train a dog to be quiet, and then if they don't want to deal with them being crazy, they'll just put on a tablet and just shut them up.
Hey, it works. I mean,
No, but that's not the point.
I don't agree with it, but I'm just saying it works.
That's why kids grow up
Stupid.
just wanting attention and spoiled and with all these, because they're not getting attention at home, bro. Like my mom would tell me the story all the time. When I was a kid, I was a terrible child, but all I wanted was
Same.
attention.
Same.
Like I'd be running around like crazy, but all you wanted was attention.
Yeah.
And if you don't give that kid attention and you suppress it with here, take a tablet and just go watch something, like you're missing out on a lot of stuff. And then you know what happens on top of that, because of this whole era of just pretty much the internet and all. But literally, kids start getting too rowdy, ADD. People start getting too rowdy, ADHD.
Yeah.
That is one of the most crazily thrown around
terms,
disorders that you give somebody, because and half the time, bro, like it's wrongly put on a child, diagnosed because the kid's just rowdy, dude. It's a rowdy child. Just because a kid's rowdy, he can't sit down doesn't mean he has.
I agree with you.
An legitimate case of ADHD or ADD, bro. Like parents are. I saw a video this week of a dad brought his daughter to a soccer game, and he's watching a soccer game, and his daughter is sitting down next to him in the seat. On his hip, he has his cell phone facing backwards towards his daughter playing a show while he's standing up and watching the game.
Typical. And
she's sitting there watching the show, just sitting, just having a good, just chilling there, and he's standing up watching a soccer game. Now, granted, that's genius for a kid, for the dad, because he obviously wants to focus on the game. But at the same time, you're gonna take your daughter to a soccer game. I mean, you're there to spend time with them,
right?
And you know, build that kind of relationship of father daughter, and you know, spending that time together, talking about soccer, teaching them about soccer or any sport for this matter. But no, she's sitting there in the corner of the chair. You're holding back your phone while she's sitting there just watching the show that she's watching with, like, she had some headphones on. Like, what kind of relationship is that, bro?
I am so glad that you brought that up, because now, dude, my juices are flowing, dude. We didn't even plan this. Oh, I'm amped.
What are you talking about?
Dude, when I was in, I want to say 7th or 8th grade. Okay. I'm not going to drop any names because God forbid, you know. I was in 7th or 8th grade. Okay. And you know me for a long time. I mean, obviously, as we get older.
I know you a long time.
as we get older,
not for a good time, but a long time.
As we get older, our personalities change, right? Like, you know, we adapt, we get more mature.
Yeah, you become more of an asshole.
Sure, but yeah, more of an asshole, more sarcastic. But you have a time and place to handle stuff. Where if it was while I was 19 years old, you know, it was just like blah, like, you know, just walking around like an idiot. Right. When I was in 7th,
speak for yourself.
When I was in 7th or 8th grade, I don't remember. My history teacher, or no, we didn't have history in middle school. My English teacher.
Social studies, bro.
Yeah, that's what it was. Social studies.
Bro. Remember that shit?
So
social studies,
my
bro.
social studies teacher, I think I had a D in her class.
Shout out Mr. Lombardi. I'll never forget this guy. Wow.
So I had a D in her class. Okay, and she called my mother. And at the time, my father, like, well, for me growing up, my dad never went to school conferences, parent teacher conferences. It was always my mom, which is funny because my dad is the one who speaks fluent English, and he's the one who's more, I'm not gonna say level-headed, but he doesn't get. He'll sit down and talk to you. Where my mother is like, where I get it from my mom. It's emotions on your sleeve, and it's just like blah immediately.
Gotcha, blown up.
Yeah, but it's funny because my dad never went. My mom did. So my social studies teacher reached out to my mother, and she thought it was a good idea. Now, my mom. She speaks English, but she doesn't speak English fluently, like someone who's like us.
Right.
And she thought it was a good idea to bring my mother in and sit her down to talk about me. And
what were you doing? Why was she bringing her in?
I was just being loud in class, right? But we're gonna get to that. So it was.
I can see you being like the dumbass clown.
I was a class clown, but it doesn't matter. Okay, this is not ahead. So
fine.
Again, because class clown didn't get molded until high school. So she decides she thinks it's a good idea to not only herself, but all my major subject teachers, you know, not like gym and shit like that, but like math, you know, we had reading in middle school, all that shit, science. They all sit down and have a conference with my mom. And
they brought in all your teachers?
All the teachers. But this was my
You must have been terrible, dude.
So, and the English, the social studies teacher has the audacity. She has the testicular fortitude, okay? This bitch has the fortitude to say, oh, your son is, you know, he acts like he's got ADD, always running around the class like an ape, like with his hands up, and made my mother cry.
Oh, what a bitch.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine your mom, especially your mom, because your mom.
My mom would lose it. Dude.
Can you imagine if a teacher said that about you to your mom?
Oh yeah, my mom would lose it.
Imagine.
Lose it. Absolutely lose it.
And then like my mom told me immediately, but again, I'm what, 11, 12 years old? And
yeah.
I don't what do I know? And it wasn't until years later where, like, you know, when I turned like 20 and then like me and my mom talked about that story, and I was like, what a stupid bitch that you have to be. You
can't just sit there and just lay that out in front
if you want to like, you know, maybe pull me aside with my mom and say, hey, listen, your son's a little hyper, your
There's
son.
there's a way to say.
There's
it.
a way to say it. It's literally like, by the way, your son's retarded.
Especially,
It's like, are you kidding me?
Especially when you talk to a mom who doesn't have all the English.
Yeah.
Like,
it comes
when
off
you
as
say
offensive.
something like that, not just offensive, but scary.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you pretty much telling you, hey, your son has some kind of mental.
Yeah. And like, who are you?
Yeah.
Who the hell are you?
Fuck that.
You know what I'm saying? And dude, Pat. Oh, dude. There's been plenty of times in my life where maybe I've messed up, but when I've done something, nothing sinks in more than when you do something. For me, at least, when you do something and you see how it affects your parents, specifically your mother.
Yeah.
You do something and you see that your mom is like, it's happened. It's whether it was. There's been other occasions in my life where someone has publicly said something to me. The older I get, I can defend myself. I can tell someone to go eat shit. Right. But at an early age, you're a kid.
Yeah.
And imagine someone.
You can't help but take things more emotionally.
Yeah,
when you're
exactly. And dude, I felt so bad for my mom that she had to go through that.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, I wanted to punch that teacher in the mouth.
It's good you say that too, because that kind of plays into what we were talking about before with the whole living on putting social media and like kids being on their tablets and phones and things like that. Because once you start a kid early with that, it grows with you, right?
Yeah.
So now the child is gonna always want to be in, especially in this generation.
They get addicted.
Right. It is addicting. And
it's addicted for us, and we're grown men.
And here's for me where, although I'm not a guy that's I'm not crazy about social media. Like I said, I'm mostly on Twitter. And
you're not.
Mostly,
I give you that. You're not.
Yeah, and it's mostly because of sports that I'm on Twitter. All the news breaks first on Twitter, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on Instagram, but not as much. It's probably my second most used social media handle as opposed to Twitter. But I see how that affects even me, and I'm not that much of a phone person. But and I'm talking in terms of like when I'm home, on my day off, or when I get home from work, right? And this is something that I've noticed more as I've grown up. I kind of see my parents wanting attention from me, or even giving me attention. Right? They want to just sit down and talk to me, and I do this without even thinking, just because of again, it's the day and age. Like the other night, I got home from work. I was hanging out in the kitchen with my parents, and I was on my phone, and I was just sitting there. Like, even though I'm with them, I wasn't with them. Like, I was there. There's a song that says everybody's connected, but nobody's connecting. Like that's a real thing. So I'm in the kitchen. I'm sitting there. My parents are talking to each other and kind of coming back and forth to me, but I'm on my phone, right? I'm not paying attention.
Sure.
Something must have been going on, maybe the chat, whatever. Something was going on where I wasn't in it. And then my mom goes, "Hey, are you gonna get off your phone? Like, I'm trying to talk to you." And then sometimes you get pissed off about it. You're like, "Yo, like, I'm just on my phone. Like, what do you mean?"
Yeah.
But I've noticed, dude, like as I've gotten older, that my parents want attention, right? And not in a bad way. Where
no, not at all.
Like a child. I mean, they just want to connect, and I get it more. You know how you said you feel bad for your mom when she gets upset. I feel bad for my dad a lot for some reason, way more than because my mom, the way my mom is, I love that woman to death. I love both my parents to death, but my mom is a little bit more closed off. And not a cold hearted is not a good word, but she's more she plays the cold hearted card a lot. Although she's super sensitive and obviously has emotions as well.
Sure. My
dad is more like I am, more open to being emotional.
Right.
So whenever something bad happens, my dad acts on emotions. And even though I say that, I've only seen my dad cry I think twice, but every single time it completely shreds my entire being, my soul, my heart just goes into a million pieces. So every time, I've noticed that they just keep wanting more attention. Like last night, we were playing Xbox, playing 2K. My dad comes in the room, opens the door, and just starts doing pull-ups on my pull-up bar, right? But he doesn't say anything.
That's dope, though.
But I can tell that he's there, so we can kind of start a conversation just talk a little bit. And I do a lot of times I do, but there's a lot of times
we hear you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times that I don't either, and then I'll do it without even thinking, because again, I'm so conditioned to playing Xbox right there or being on my phone that I know he's there, but I don't even look at him or acknowledge his presence. For me, I've always been close to my parents, so for me, when that happens where he leaves and I didn't say anything to him, it automatically kind of clicks in my head, and I'm like, shit, he was here to kind of talk or say something. Sometimes they have something to say, but they don't want to just come out and say it. They kind of wait till the conversation starts. I always feel like shit, man. Yeah. I feel so bad, bro. And like I feel like that's gonna get worse with the way that this stuff, with the way it's going, dude.
When
like,
the kids grow up.
with these kids, bro. And look, like today, me and you went to Sarku, and you didn't know. I didn't say anything.
Shout
about
out Sarku.
Wow.
I didn't say anything about this to you while we were there, but there was a family of 4 right
To
next
our
to
right,
us.
I remember that.
Yeah, to your right, my left.
I didn't even look at them.
Well, yeah, I noticed it, and again, I didn't even know we were going to talk about this today. There was the 2 parents and a girl, an older girl, and a younger kid. Both of the kids were on their phone, and both parents were talking to each other. And I'm not even kidding. I looked over maybe 4 times. Every single time, the parents were talking to each other, and if they were to talk to the child they were looking down, and maybe say 2 or 3 words. And I was behind it because we were waiting for the food. She was on Instagram, she was on social media, whatever.
Bitch.
And I'm literally just sitting there like, and then I just literally started thinking about that, and that wasn't the first time. And I was driving the other day, and this guy behind me. I'm a little creep when it comes to my rearview mirror. I'm always looking in rearview mirror, especially when somebody stops behind me. There was a father and a son. The kid had headphones in the car next to his dad, listening, just watching a video or something, or you could have been doing whatever. And the dad was right next to him. And then like, again, I don't know the situation exactly. They might have been, arguing or whatever the case may be. But for me, I thought about that too, and I was like, listen, man, like that's sad, bro. Like you be in the car with your dad. I'm sure you can have some kind of conversation. Like for me, that hits home, and I get it that not everybody has that kind of relationship with their parents, and I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't, whatever. Everybody's different, but it hits home for me every time, bro, because I think about it like this: our parents have a limited time on this earth.
Yeah.
And as bad as a relationship we may have with our parents, like once they're gone, we're gonna miss the good times. They may have been terrible times, but like we're gonna miss those times, the good times. We're gonna miss the times where I can just go to my parents and talk to them about anything like that I'm going through. Parents are understanding, the unconditional love. Like that's just how it works, right? And you're gonna miss that. So like spending all this time on social media and on your phones and us playing an Xbox when we're home, like things like that. Like for me, makes it very. It's always a thought. You know, just when you go to sleep and you lay down, everything goes into your head. You start thinking about your entire life. Those are the kind of thoughts that go into my head, as well as. And then I gotta pay this fucking bill.
And then I pop.
But anyways,
and then I pop 4 melatonins and.
4? You nuts? I took one last night. I felt
wake
great.
up 9 days later.
I took a melatonin last night. I felt great. Yeah. But those are the kind of thoughts that go into my mind, and dude, and it hits home every time. And then I always tell myself, yo, I need to change it up a little bit. I gotta start start focusing a little bit more on this relationship with my parents, because I know very well once they're gone, bro. That's it, man. And then the thing that sucks is just like anytime something bad happens in your life, you always think about what you could have done different.
Yep.
And I think one of my biggest fears is me getting to that point and thinking that I could have done more things differently.
What you could have changed.
Yeah, I want the list to be of things that I did be bigger than the list of things that I wish I could have done. You know what I mean? So I think like as simple as, I know we just started talking about like kids being on their phones, but like that over a lifetime,
that will change.
That's
gonna change.
That's a big deal, man.
Dude, you're spot on. It's a big deal with what you just said, because it happens with me. Like sometimes I'm laying in bed, I could be watching Netflix, I could be on Xbox. My mother, comes up the steps and does the same shit your dad does. Not a pull up, but she'll open my door. She'll knock first. Yeah. She'll open my door, and then she'll sit down on my bed. It doesn't say anything, and I'm just like,
yeah, you just sit.
So
there.
I gotta pause. I was like, what do you want?
Yeah.
and then she'll just talk about like meaningless stuff, but like there's just stuff that she wants to talk about. I can't tell you how many times I go with my mom to like Sam's Club, and the entire ride there is just us talking. Yeah. And then the radio's off, it's just talking. Dude, and you're absolutely right, dude. Like, it's the little shit that makes that, like, for me, like, I consider myself, like, I wouldn't say, like, a tough guy, but I consider myself someone who's not, I'm not overly emotional. Mm-hmm.
You definitely suppress your emotions a lot.
Yeah. So, but stuff that really is, like, a dagger to the heart, but a good dagger, that literally makes you want to, like, tear up at times, is the little shit. Yeah, that happens. But perfect example is last Mother's Day. So my mother doesn't care about her phone, right? So she had an iPhone 6, and she had a 16 gig, right, back when the Apple wasn't boning us, making us buy an 8 gig or a 4,000 terabyte phone. And
different time.
And so she had like a 16 gig iPhone 6, and she my mother came up to me and like mad like, you know, like I wouldn't say like puppy dog eyes, but it was mad like I felt so much. It was such a genuine question that she came up to me. She was like, hey, do you like? She's like, the phone keeps telling me that I can't fit any more pictures. And like she showed me the phone, and I went and it was like, oh, you got 2,000 photos or whatever, and it's capped, you know, like you can't do anything. Right. She's like, well, what do I do? I was like, well, you can't. iPhone doesn't. You can't put like an external memory card in. You can only do like cloud storage, but it's gonna save up there. And then that was probably like around February of last year. So come Mother's Day, I bought her an iPhone 8, and dude, I bought her an iPhone. Dude, it was an iPhone. You know, it wasn't like, I mean, you and I think the same about this. If we were like athletes and millionaires, I'd buy my mom a house if I could.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, but I bought her an iPhone 8, dude.
The shit out of my
parents. Dude, I bought her an iPhone 8, dude. That's all it was, an iPhone 8 for Mother's Day. I was like, what does my mother need? I bought her like a little thing of flowers. I bought her an iPhone 8, dude. She cried in joy of how happy she was.
Yeah, man.
Like bawled. She was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, oh man. Last week I told you the story. My mother lost her keys at work. She lost her keys, dude. I bought her a $30 tile, little tile, to put on her keychain so she can track her keys. And I set it up for her, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much," and like gave me a hug. She's like, "I don't know what I'll do without you." And I'm like, "Dude, it's a $30 little tile."
Yeah, bro.
And I'm sitting there thinking like she appreciates that much.
You know, it's something that we never realize is. We will never realize this until we have kids of our own.
That's exactly what my mother says.
Is how much we mean to them. As much as they mean to us, what we mean to them, I think
triple, quadruple.
Is so much more.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And again, a lot of people have different relationships with their parents, and that's it's fine. Sometimes unfortunate, and
you can't.
I get it.
It's not something you can control.
Yeah. But you know, I've obviously been lucky with that.
Same.
And a lot of people have. Same. But at the same time, it's still one of those things where like, if I could urge somebody to try and mend and rebuild if they have to a relationship with their parents, I would always urge to, because I would always make that a point, only because, bro, like and it's also, again, that has to do with the way that I grew up. I can't picture myself without my mom and dad.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be devastated.
Yeah. Like I can't, and I'm not saying in any sense other than just like an emotional sense. Like I love having my parents around. Like I love my parents.
Yeah.
Like I wish them the best. Like they always have supported me, and like so like, and as much, and maybe if we had a bad relationship, me and my parents, I probably think differently, but I don't, because I haven't, you know, that's just and again, right. I'm not saying it's all been rainbows and butterflies. Like,
of course not.
Me and my parents have had arguments where we were screaming at each other, you know, and we don't agree on everything that has to do with life. Yeah. But like none of that's important when it comes to, you know, when it compares to just the love between, you know,
the love of family.
Yeah. So I think it's huge, man. I think it's super important. And that's why I think that whole, and I know we started talking about like kids with phones, but I think it's that over a long period of time, something as simple as giving your child a phone when they're young is going to affect everything I think we just spoke about from the moment they're older.
You don't have that personal human interaction.
Yeah, man.
That, you know, and some people know how to balance it, but there's
sure.
a lot of people that I know, like,
I mean, I suck at balancing sometimes, and I'm saying that as much as I'm talking about this relationship with my parents, I'm not perfect at it. Like I said, I do that all the time. I'll be home on my phone. Yeah. Like, and I'll be in the kitchen with my parents, and they're trying to talk to me, and I won't listen. And again, it's not on purpose. I mean, there are days where I'm having a bad day, and like I take it out on them, and again, whatever. But like, you know, I'm not perfect at it either. When like all the stories I told about my parents, my dad at home, like talk, I do that all the time. But it's those thoughts when I'm laying down to go to bed that always hits me, and I'm like, shit, I need to change that. You know what I'm saying? It's also like moving out is gonna be something else too, because like, you know, tradition in Brazil, like you live at home until you get married. And my dad literally tells me,
a lot of people don't understand that, by the way.
And that's fine. I mean, that's tradition in the U.S.
Well, they look at you like you're some.
Listen, man, I was not you, but like even though your parents were like, I was born in Brazil. Like I'm talking. You want to talk about like traditional values? Like I'm a traditional as it gets, because even I'm first generation. My parents are like older than me, but like I wasn't born here. So like only my kids are gonna be the first people born in this country. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So. For me, that's as traditional as it gets. So if my kids are talking about moving out before they get married, I'm gonna have a different take on it than my parents do. Yeah. Even though I'm still not technically I'm the first generation here. You know what I mean? So because of that, obviously, whenever I move out, if I'm married or not, because we don't know what's gonna happen. I would love to move out, by the way, but at the same time,
Shout out single ladies. Oh, the single ladies.
fuck out of here. At the same time, my mindset was probably gonna change a little bit on that too.
Yeah.
You know, because who knows? But it's just one of those things where I think is super, super important. And in 2019, we don't see a lot of that.
Good Lord. You just said the one word, 2 syllables? No? 2019. Doesn't matter. 2019.
2019, 4 syllables.
Okay. 2019. Name, aside from whenever World War II was going on, name a more bullshit year.
2018. 2018 was bullshit, dude.
Okay, that's facts because 2019 is not over yet.
2018 was some bullshit.
When was Bush elected?
How dare you?
Oh, get out of here, dude.
Dude,
Trash.
I am full erect that you brought that up because
Talk to me, bro. What do you
we grew up. Okay, so dude, so you know me, okay? I'm a very confrontational person.
No, I disagree.
What?
You're not confrontational.
When I say confrontational, I don't mean like, yo, I heard you were talking shit. Why don't you say it to my face? That's not what I mean.
That's what confrontational is.
So you mean a word that's not the word?
Yeah, that's what confrontation is. I think you're trying to say something else.
Can you pull up Wikipedia?
You're a sarcastic asshole.
Can you pull
You're
up
a sarcastic
Can
asshole.
you pull up the source, please?
Trying to be
thesaurus?
funny.
No. What I mean is, I'm very blunt.
That's not confrontational.
Okay, whatever. So
Straightforward.
So you're not confrontational. Okay, but go ahead.
I am confrontational.
No, you're not.
To an extent. You can't, I mean, what are you talking about? You can't compare like stuff like
John,
work or us in a group chat. I mean, like
no. Confrontational is
time and place. If someone comes up to me and says something stupid, I will retaliate. Okay?
with something sarcastic.
I'm gonna retaliate. I'm not gonna be like, okay, well, okay.
I don't think that's confrontational.
Whatever.
But okay, go ahead. I get you.
You know me.
You're blunt. Yes.
I'm a very blunt person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't sugarcoat anything. You ask me for my opinion, I'm going to give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a rough opinion, I may pull you aside so you don't get embarrassed. Dude, 2019.
Oh, I know where you're going with
And,
this.
well, you can start with 2018 because we're only 3 months in.
Definitely 2018 as well.
We're only 3 months into
If
2019.
we're talking about the same thing.
Has the most sensitive,
Oh, God. Yes.
soft
Yes.
pussies
Oof.
alive.
Yikes.
Alive. And this goes back to you talking about kids growing up in this generation.
Yeah.
Can you, dude, when I was a kid, dude, I got bullied. I got picked on. I've got stuff thrown at me.
I can tell. It explains a lot.
No, everybody got bullied. bro.
Probably why you're confrontational.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
Everybody got bullied.
I was a
Can
bully.
you imagine the kids now? Can you imagine a kid now in his little, the kids who wear the, the kids who have the outfits like my dad's a lawyer kind of thing, tucked in polos with the little khakis.
Vineyard Vines.
Yeah.
I love Vineyard Vines.
with
Don't even
the
give me
boat shoes, you know what I'm saying? With the
Yes.
comb over,
Fake it till you make it, right?
that. I also have a comb over, so okay.
Okay, but I'm talking about the white comb over.
Okay.
How?
So,
I'm gonna get into that.
can you imagine, Pat, those kids getting bullied in 2003?
Yeah, dude.
Can you imagine?
They'd be dead.
Can you imagine? Dude, I hate with a passion this generation. God forbid you say something,
Yeah.
okay?
It's so true.
Dude, you know this. My grandmother died of cancer 2 months ago.
Yep.
2 months ago.
R.I.P..
If someone came up to me and said, hey, John, what do you think of the Celtics? Kyrie or LeBron? John, what do you think of the Lakers? LeBron is very cancerous. Bro, you can't say that, man. That's mad offensive, bro. The cancer. Dude, shut your mouth. We're not talking about cancer. It has nothing to do with what you're talking about. God, dude, when I grew up and I said, yo, those pants are mad gay, bro. God forbid you say that right now.
Oh, yeah,
You
dude.
were going to get crucified
You're
on
gonna offend,
CNN.
You're gonna offend somebody.
You were going to offend anyone, and that's not. It doesn't have to be the gay word. It could be whatever. Like growing up, we can be, bro. Yo, go do something. Don't be a retard. Oh God, if you
Yeah,
call somebody
you
a
can't say
retard right
retard
now,
anymore.
holy shit! If
Can't
you call
say
somebody a
retard
retard.
anymore.
Thank God.
I know Kevin
Dude,
agrees with that.
Dude,
Thank God.
the sensitivity,
It's
bro,
terrible, bro.
it's
terrible.
unbelievable.
It's terrible.
You can't even crack jokes anymore.
Dude, it's all about your feelings now, bro.
It's all about
all
you.
about your
And I get it.
feelings. How do
And
you feel?
Kev brought this up like we were talking about in the chat a few weeks ago.
How do you feel, bro?
And I get it. There is a line. There's a line. There is. Okay? Because I'm not gonna see,
Dude, there used to be comedians who used to make the most disgusting, dirtiest jokes ever, and people would die laughing, even though it was probably a fucked up subject.
Yeah.
But what happened with that, dude?
Dude.
They still do.
No.
Some do.
Comedians
No,
are good.
Some do.
Yes, some definitely do, and those are the ones that not a lot of people know, because a lot of people nowadays have to censor it in order to be famous, which is terrible.
Dude, I look at it like this, bro.
Which is terrible.
There's
2019 sucks.
There is a line.
2018 sucked because of
there
everybody's
is a
sensitivity.
line. There is a line, and I understand it. But I think what it comes down to is what your meaning behind it is. Example. If I walk up to you and I say, Pat, those shoes are gay. how are you going to take that?
I'm probably going to find something to pick on you about.
Okay, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, that's different as opposed to me walking up to someone who's homosexual and be like, yo, you're mad gay. Like,
But you're still using that word in a negative way, though.
Correct. But I'm going up to that person deliberately making fun of them.
But you're trying to make fun of them using the word that has nothing to do with what they're wearing.
What?
Like saying, Pat, those shoes are mad gay. Like, what?
Because I'm not gay, so he's trying to make fun of me.
No,
I'm saying, like, how is that? Like, why is that a rip?
No. I'm just saying, like, back in, like, if you mid 2000s, you said something's gay. Yeah, it's mad gay. It was normal. It was normal.
There's nothing. Yeah.
It was normal.
Dude,
you weren't.
Doesn't mean it's okay.
Sure, but I guess it was just more accepted. I guess.
Dude, it's one of those things where it's
But
not
you don't
about
e-
your feelings, Kev. People didn't put their own feelings in front of just being funny or just taking a joke. Like, my feelings are not more important than I know what you mean when you say something, so I don't let my feelings get in the way of that. Everything now is about feelings.
You're right. Well, I agree with you. There's many things that you should. There are things that you should watch what you say because it can come off as offensive. But my point is, there's a lot of things that people blow out of proportion for no reason.
I just think that
I
think that the trying to make objective thoughts and objective action based on feelings is the stupidest thing I can imagine, bro. You can't make, like, especially politics, dude. Politics is getting, like, you're making laws based off of how people feel.
Literally.
Like, you can't do that,
Please
dude.
explain.
I'm not gonna go into it because you know exactly what I'm talking about, dude. Like me having to abide by people's pronouns. I have to call people a pronoun. If I don't, people want to make it a law.
So
that's what I'm trying to say. People are trying to make that thing a law.
Danny
it's
sent
based
us
off
that
how
video.
you feel.
Danny sent us that video. You know the guy, Kev, who goes around like the guy changed my mind guy. That goes around and he
what's his real name?
I forgot.
Oh, what's his name?
I guess.
What's his name?
But so he went to a campus and he sat down and the only thing he said was the sign was there's only two genders. Changed my mind.
Steven Crowder?
Yes, Steven Crowder.
So he goes out there. He goes out to the campus, and that's fine. I have no problem disagreeing. I'm not going to get into how many genders there are.
No, we don't have to get into that
because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit.
But the idea about that is this. The idea about that whole change my mind thing is this. He's willing to have a conversation.
Yeah, and everybody got offended.
Right. But the fact that he even has his own thought process and his opinion, and it goes against what the other people's opinions are, people got upset and mad at it. Instead of just understanding, hey, he thinks different than I do.
That's my thing.
Like, we can all live together and have different opinions. Yeah. Because everybody feels differently. Your feelings are different than my I feel differently towards certain things. That doesn't mean that we can't live together.
Right, I agree. Yeah.
It's also unfair to make that generalization, though, saying that, like, the whole like, nowadays, like, the millennials, the Generation Z?
Gen X.
What are they calling it?
Gen Z,
something like that.
Like, it's unfair to loop them all into the few that blow it up out of proportion.
Yeah, it's not everybody.
Like, I can find people who align themselves, like, to the left.
You know what the problem is with that, though?
What's that?
Is that those few people, they're making laws or want to make changes and making statements based off from the word and the feelings of the few. That's the issue. Usually things go by the majority, but because those people have kind of that small group of people have rallied up together, now it's the word of the few that matters above all else. Because of why? Because of how they feel. Now we're saying that people's
What's
feelings,
wrong with feeling?
you can't base logic off of feelings, bro. You can't base law off of feelings. It has to be, first of all, the majority. It has to be. You have to abide for the people, and you can't tell me that I need to act a certain way because of how you feel.
So how would you gauge what is good and what is bad?
That's my issue.
Like
what you said is my issue with everything.
Like how if we're not supposed to make laws off of like feeling and things that
It's not feeling. What law has ever been made because of feelings, dude?
the feeling that people shouldn't be slaves for
law.
one, like that's a feeling.
That's not a feeling. That's just wrong.
But how? Because you feel that it's wrong, right?
No, I don't feel that it's wrong. It's just wrong. Putting another human being, in, literally forcing him to do labor, that's wrong. It's not a feeling. People didn't want to stop slavery because they felt bad. No, people don't stop slavery because they knew it was logically wrong.
Some people thought it was wrong.
Most people at the time, but
People with
the
common
point
sense.
with that is, who was the majority of people in the U.S. at that time? They didn't. Nobody wanted slavery. They didn't. The entire North didn't want slavery.
Well, yeah, the North is only a very small portion of the whole United States.
We the North.
Oh yeah, but it was at the time. It was the majority, like the majority of people. Who, by the way, Lincoln. People don't know this was a Republican. Just putting that out there. But anyways,
The party used to be good.
My only issue, dude. My
It's
only
true.
issue, and like remember when we worked at the restaurant. I'm not gonna say this coworker's name, just in case
right.
You know who you are, John Smith.
just in case
John
FBI.
Smith.
Yeah, so we had a coworker, John Smith,
Johnny Napkins.
who was a homosexual, and how many times did he? Dude, I remember like it was yesterday. I would come in and clock in. He walks out to me, "What's up, faggot?"
Yeah.
And I would laugh. Like it's funny to me.
He'd go up to us and
yeah.
laugh around, and it's like we should get offended by that if we were like in a lot of people in his generation.
Yeah.
But
I
don't.
didn't.
Yeah, because it's just funny,
yeah.
dude. Like it's just funny. Like it doesn't bother me,
dude.
It's also very personal though. Like that's a relationship that you
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
I guess
sure.
that manager coworker
Yeah.
have developed over time. Because he's not gonna say a day one to you.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Kev,
Now some
You're right.
some people are like extreme.
right.
Like, I
But
have
think
one
about it like
coworker.
this: no matter how close you get with somebody that you know, I'm sure you know at least one person. No matter how close you are with them, if you say that one thing,
Oh, I know the
it's
one
gonna-
trigger.
yeah, there's always
there's plenty of-
not
yeah.
just one trigger, but if you say anything that it's outside of what they believe, no matter how close you guys are, it's gonna be a problem.
Well, yeah, like what we experienced today.
Yeah, top of my hairline.
What?
No.
In the chat.
today, yeah.
Woo.
I mean, the thing is also like for me, like it does not take any like if you want to have a different pronoun than what I was raised to believe, for me that has no effect on my life.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because
I don't
at
give
the
a
end
shit.
of the day, like I'm just here trying to get my 80 years
I mean,
in.
if we're talking about the whole pronoun things,
Okay.
sure. But here's my whole take on it. If I by mistake call you a different pronoun than what you're supposed to, I'm not wrong because I have no idea.
Well, no, exact, but I don't think. Well, see, this is also like speaking in like what ifs, and I think, and like it's not like there's no like factual evidence for something like this because it's very like in the moment. Like if someone were to get angry at you for not knowing, like that person isn't wrong because they shouldn't expect everyone to know
Correct.
exactly what they want to be called.
But that's exactly the problem with wanting to make that a thing, because it's see how many problems it can cause there by trying to make everybody have different pronouns. If I want to be a tree bark, like, and how are you supposed to know that?
No one wants to be a tree bark.
I get it, but it's just an example.
It's the very extreme.
I would be the
Yes.
tree
Um,
in Winterfell.
But that
Who knows
person, maybe the right way is maybe we're just gonna change how we dialogue, how we open up to people. You know, who knows?
That's the issue, dude.
The
What's wrong with change? Dude?
The only
Come
thing,
on,
the
man.
only
Change
thing,
my mind, right?
the only thing I want to touch on that, so we can move on, is Kev is right, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on air. Okay.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna say this on air.
All right, let
So
me brace myself.
everybody who's listening,
I'm gonna mute you real
okay.
quick.
I really hope I don't offend people. Ready? Here we go. The United States of America. Okay.
God.
Here we go.
Jeez.
There is man and there's woman. And that's what I think. Okay? Now,
What?
I think if you have a penis in between your legs, you're a man. If you have a vagina, you are a woman. What you want to stick in your vagina or what you want to rub your cock up against, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. You can do what you want. I don't care what you're doing. But I'm not going to change how I talk because you like to fuck dogs and
Oh God.
and then you say, shout out Mike.
Yeah, seriously.
Shout out Mike. And no, but you know what I'm saying? Dude, I'm not going to change the way I talk because, and you shouldn't get offended because well,
Dude,
I identify as
because the whole
this
thing
and
is
that.
the whole
That's
thing
my
is,
problem.
The whole thing is I don't care what you do.
Yeah, I really don't care.
Right, exactly, and I
It
don't,
doesn't offend me. You live your life.
exactly whatever you want to do, you can do it.
But don't get mad at me.
And I don't think it should be anything to keep you from doing what you want to do and go whichever route you want to go.
I agree
when it
1,000%.
I don't think there should be anything stopping you.
Agreed.
Lawfully
I
or
agree.
anything.
1,000%.
Just don't expect me to accept what you're doing.
And if I don't want to accept it, that's my right.
Right.
I'm allowed to
reason.
not accept it. That's my only issue.
Yeah, me too. I don't care what people do. That's not what bothers me.
I don't.
It's just expecting me to change my views and my beliefs.
And they get offended
to
when you
fit
don't.
yours. Right. And that's exactly the problem. The problem is nowadays all these people,
Some people.
a lot of
Some
them.
people, yeah.
No, there's a lot of people, and it's not even just people in that kind of realm where people, want to change sex. I'm talking about just the generation. When you don't believe what they believe and don't agree with what they agree, they're not willing to have a conversation. And that's that. And then I don't want to bring political parties into this, but that is a huge thing when it comes to the left and the right. The right are more willing to get in a conversation that disagrees with you than the left is willing to get in a conversation that disagree with them. Because as soon as you say something that you don't agree with anybody from the left, they don't even want to talk. No, you're a bigot. You're this. I'm done. We're not talking. Whereas the right we're willing to sit there and say, listen, let me have a conversation with you. And if we disagree, we disagree. But that's fine. At least we're having a conversation.
I would say 50-50 just because there's no way to gauge this.
It's just more prevalent.
Well, I
You can
think
see it,
I think we see it more just because in position of power, there's more people who are on the left. Like I was talking to Laura the other
the
day.
entire media.
I was talking to Laura the other day. Like, name a funny conservative comedian.
Yeah, it's true.
Who is considered conservative?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Is Louis like Dave Chappelle? Like what? Like
I have no idea. Yeah.
like it's,
Shout out Dave Chappelle.
now if they like want to keep it on the wraps,
No free
I
ads.
get that. Maybe Bill Burr is. I don't know. He's from
Who
Boston.
knows? Yeah.
Who knows? But how like is
But,
no
but,
one
but
funny?
why did they do that? Because a lot of them know that if they come out and act a conservative way, they won't get famous, dude. Because one media outlet says something bad. Hey, listen, he made fun of this kind of people in one of his jokes. Boom, they're done. They're done. Or you bring a conservative pro-gun agenda into one of your jokes.
You said it last week, Evan, and I thought it was great.
And that's the problem, dude. Like, they can't even come out and be, if they were conservative, they can't even come out and be conservative in public because it's going to completely derail their career.
You said it last week, and I thought it was very good. You said that comedy has no what'd you say, no boundaries, no walls.
Shouldn't have no.
Yeah,
no walls.
and I agree with that because there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that we've seen,
especially a comedian on a stage. Like, it's the difference between me and you trying to be funny because we're not.
Yeah.
We're not on that.
John's not funny.
That's true too, but we're not on that platform.
Yeah, right. I'm the funniest dude you know.
No shot.
Oh,
because we're not on that platform. But as a comedian, his job is literally to be funny and try to get a room to laugh. We shouldn't put limits around what he's saying. Obviously, there's certain things that he won't go. I forgot the name of this comedian, man. I really did. Joe Rogan was talking about it on his podcast.
Mitch Hedberg.
No, I forgot who it was.
Old guy.
They literally kept him from going out on. They were gonna do a comedy show a week after 9/11. They said, "You're not going on because we know we're gonna make a joke about 9/11." That was a week after 9/11 happened. But that's how he thought. He's like, yeah, like for me, comedy has no bounds. I'm gonna make something funny up out of even the most fucked up shit, And again, I don't totally agree with that because there's definitely like a time that needs to pass there before you make a joke about something that bad that happened.
Yeah. Or an audience.
However, I wouldn't get mad at a 9/11 joke.
Wouldn't.
Now if it's obviously the person doesn't mean anything. He's not
Yeah,
trying to
he's
make
not
fun of the
exactly.
people that
It's not like, yo, how's your
Dude,
dead relative?
Dude, 9/11
has nothing to do with
9/11 affected me just by seeing it.
Yeah.
I was literally
I was living in America.
I was right next to
absolutely.
New York City.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Third grade, right?
My dad was literally on his way to the World Trade Center. He was stuck underground in the train. Like, for me, it affected me personally. I don't get mad at 9/11 jokes, and I know nobody died of close to mine, but it's one of those things where I can look past the whole mantra of, hey, he's trying to offend people, and just laugh at the joke.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And like, I can't tell you, like, I agree with you 1,000%. I don't think that comedy has to have boundaries because, like, I can't tell you how many times I watched like a YouTube video of a comedian of like Kevin Hart or some kind of
Pete Davidson,
some kind of Netflix special, and the joke is so offensive and cringe. You're just like, oh, Dude, but it's funny. Dude, I was watching a Netflix special, and one of the guys, or it wasn't Netflix, I'm sorry, it was on YouTube. And one of the comedians went on stage, and he was like, yeah, bro, my wife can't cook. She kept the pizza in the oven like those freaking Jews in the Holocaust. And that, like, it's so offensive, but it's funny. It's funny. Like, and it's
I think they make it funny.
They make it
the
funny.
context of
No,
what
there's
happened.
also
Like,
the whole
everyone
thing where
knows. Like,
not every comedian can say that though.
you're right. Not every
That's
comedian.
the
Yeah,
thing.
not every comedian.
When you've gotten to a certain status, like, who can I say right
like
now?
a Chappelle.
Like a Chappelle for sure. Chappelle
pretty much
100%.
say anything.
Chappelle can say whatever he wants and it'll be funny. But I think
he did like whiteface.
yeah, Chappelle can literally say whatever he wants and
His
it'll
white
be
voice
hilarious.
is
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
so good. But literally, like, I'll use Chappelle then. Yeah, like Chappelle is the kind of guy who can say whatever he wants,
Yeah.
no matter how fucked up it
And
is.
good.
It's gonna be funny because he's reached that kind of status. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can say that joke,
Yeah.
and that I understand. I won't go out saying jokes like that because I'm not at that status, not even close to it. But I think comedy on the professional level, these guys it's their jobs.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have any boundaries, and I totally agree with that.
Do you remember?
But in 2019, like we just talked.
Oh,
like,
God
like,
forbid.
Like we talked about.
Yeah.
Comedians are kind of having to censor what they say because it's becoming everybody's getting so offended now with everything that even their jobs are on the line because of some jokes.
And what I just
You know what I mean?
and the one I watched, him comparing his wife to cooking, keeping something in the oven for too long, as opposed to comparing it to Jews. Even if he didn't use the Jew part, if he was just like, yeah, my wife can't cook, it's gonna offend somebody.
Yeah, so women can't.
Yeah,
cook.
women can't cook. What the?
It's always something, man, and that's the problem. Like on the, like, just to go back real quick, on professional comedian level, you're limiting these people's imaginations. Like, that's number one.
Yeah.
We want to have good comedy. I love going to a comedy club, by the way, and I love watching comedians.
Let's go. I've never been. Let's go
on YouTube.
Take me on a date.
But you're literally you're limiting these people's imagination and kind of their overall game from reaching a level they could reach by them having to think about things what they should not say. And I hate that, man. I really do.
You know the meme that I'm talking about, the Buzz Lightyear with the cross-eyed face. So it was. So when I first saw that meme,
he was definitely drunk, yo, in that part.
No, right. So when I first saw that meme, it was when she's giving you head and she licks your balls too, and he makes that face.
Yeah.
I saw someone use that Buzz Lightyear face, and I sent it in the chat. Remember, it was when the school shooter is about to kill himself, and your sketchers light up. I thought that's hilarious. Yeah. That's hilarious. But God forbid.
That's
so like.
I mean, if I don't know, I think
that's so fucked.
But it's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah, and like, and the person who made that meme isn't like trying to offend anybody. It's just funny joke.
Not trying to offend everybody.
So then that's a good point.
Mad at that. Somebody got mad at that.
That's a good point, Pat. So you're saying that like the intention of that person is to be funny.
Yeah.
Now, in certain cases where, you know, like I have one coworker who was raised in Texas, Bible Belt, OG.
Yeah.
Your coworker.
Coworker, yeah.
Okay.
He, like, honestly, like, it was rough for him growing up because he had feelings towards men. Like, it was very, very hard for him because you get bullied. Like, people got bullied. Like,
especially
like this
Texas,
sensitivity did not come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, it comes from a very dark place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like, people and, like, myself, like, I'm trying to move past this. Like a joke of, like, what a woman, you know, go back in the kitchen. Like, that's not funny anymore. Like, we're past that.
It's not even relevant because there's Pat cooks better than my mom. So like if I'm being honest,
dude, but like
your dad whips it up though,
dude, and I get it, Kev.
Yeah, my dad cooks.
But if
good.
I made a joke about women going back in the kitchen, why get offended at that when I'm just kidding?
No, like I'm not even getting offended. I'm just thinking like
there's no point
like
in saying it.
there's more stuff to say now. Like let's like what's like
here's
the
thing too
about
about your coworker that I think it's also a generational thing too. The generation before our generation, right? Whatever they were. What were the 80s and the whatever
hippies?
Yeah,
no,
that was the 70s. Whatever generation was before us, pretty much anybody before us, I feel like probably not. No, probably like before the 70s, even like it was always very traditional.
Yeah.
So growing up in that like Bible Belt area, I'm sure there's a lot of guys, people in their 50s, 60s, or 40s even,
80s,
who are willing to.
Did you say? Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off. Did you say Bible Belt?
Belt.
Oh.
They have like, you know.
That's very funny.
If you grew up in the 80s, you're considered a
millennial.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 1977 to 95.
Okay. So regardless, the
and it's Gen Z is what it's now.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
So there's a whole depending on when they grew up and how old they are, there's a level of conservatism there that, but not it's not only about being conservative, but it's about letting people know you're conservative and you shouldn't, and kind of forcing your ways on people. Whereas I feel like I'm more conservative, but I don't care what you do. Like, what you do doesn't affect me, so I wouldn't bully you for making your own decisions and doing what you got to do.
Dude, I make fun of people who drink Keystone Light. I don't care.
What does that to do?
Maybe they're trying to lose weight.
I'm just saying that beer is shit.
Anyways, that beer is shit. But anyways, dude, like I don't care like what you
Corona.
do. Like, let's say, like, what if your coworker was growing up there 30 years from now, when we're the 50s and 60s, 50-year-olds in that place. It will be. I feel, this is my opinion, I feel like it will be more of like, oh, you're gay, like it sucks, like you do whatever you want, like it doesn't matter.
You're
like,
gay,
it
sucks.
because I think it's a generational thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because for me, if I'm growing up somewhere where because listen, I don't care if you're gay or not. It doesn't. I feel like you can do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy.
Yep.
Right. Doesn't mean that I have to support it like myself. Like, I wouldn't want me. Like, but I have nothing against people who are gay.
Yep.
So if you tell me you're gay, I'm gonna be like, oh, I mean, that's awesome, man. Like, is that what makes you happy?
Congrats.
Awesome. Again, I don't have to completely agree with it, but like, I will never keep you from doing something.
But you're
that makes
respecting
you happy.
it though.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
entitled. You're entitled.
But that's what I feel like our generation, the millennials, are more like, where we respect people whose decisions.
Certain ones.
Most.
Up until 95, bro. Like, that's.
Okay. Sorry.
Millennials
I
are
thought
up.
you were talking about this.
Millennials are up until 95.
Yes.
No. From now on, it's not like that.
Oh God, yeah, you're right.
Now it's like, no, if you don't, and it's completely the other side now.
Well,
it's
actually, it's kind of different. Gen Z is actually having a resurgence in because it's a balance, right?
Yeah.
And it happens naturally. So kids who are Laura's brother's age.
Shout out, Laura.
They are actually more to the right than left, surprisingly.
Really?
Because they see like their older siblings, like, and well, like in Luke's case, he's not lefty at all.
Really?
He's not. No.
That's surprising. But regardless.
But it's so like that's like a new thing that's coming out.
And that
now.
makes sense. I feel like, I'm sure if I haven't done the research, I'll look into it because I'm curious. I'm sure if you look back at generations, like throughout the 1900s. I'm sure it was like a wave. I'm sure there were certain times, certain decades where people were very left, and the ideas went left, and then as it changed, it went back right. I'm sure there's definitely that. Right now, we just happen to be on a big high of left. People come from the left. But the whole idea is, man, like, I don't care what you do, whatever makes you happy. As long as you're happy, you do what you got to do. I don't want to make fun of anybody. I don't care about making fun of anybody. I make jokes.
Yep.
I don't want to offend people.
We make a lot of jokes.
It's just funny for me, man. And like, if you want to be, you want to be whatever it is you want to be.
Dog fucker.
Just be happy. Stop making that mic reference, man. Fuck.
I want to go on. So again, I want to go on record to say, and I speak for Pat when I say this.
Don't speak for me.
No, I'm speaking for you.
No, he doesn't speak for me.
Me and Pat don't give a dusty fuck what you do. Period.
Okay, you can speak for me.
I don't know, John.
I told you. See, I know you do.
No, I don't care what people do.
That's what I said.
Don't care.
That's what I said. But yeah, dude. I mean, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate because we grew up in a time where I think it was just, I don't want to say easier.
No, I mean, it wasn't easier or harder. Every time is different. Everybody grows up different, and when we get older, we all think back in our lives the same way. Where it's either
and 20 years from now, it's gonna be different.
There's only a few ways you can think back, look in your life, and think. You can say, "Yeah, I did really well for myself. I wouldn't want to change anything," which is, I doubt a lot of people think that way. Or you look back and you say, "Yo, like, if I could have done this differently, I would." Or a lot of people just live in the present and say, "Look, I'm living every day as it comes."
Yeah.
But regardless, man, like, we don't mean any harm, any bad intentions on anybody.
Nope.
I'm a big believer in, I want everybody to be happy. I feel like people, even people who have different views and different opinions on things can be together and just coexist. Like,
hold on, pause. We're not gonna get into this, but we're gonna talk about this next week.
Uh-oh.
I just want to add that because you said you want people to be happy. Yes, 99.8% of people, I want them to be happy, except the select few.
Yeah, here we go.
There's plenty of times where I've messed up in my life.
Here we go.
And it was an accident.
We couldn't end this on a good note.
Let me say it.
Go ahead.
Because I wrote it down and we didn't get to touch on it. There's been plenty of times in my life where I've messed up, whether it was offending somebody, whether it was saying something I shouldn't have, or have done something I shouldn't have done.
Yes.
And I went out and apologized. I want everybody to be happy, except the people out there who deliberately go out of their way and are malicious. And
what do you mean?
there's just people in this world who, you know,
who just want to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people
believe that.
who thrive on chaos.
I believe that.
Let me say this, and I mean this. Listen, I believe in God. I don't think we came from monkeys. That's my opinion. Okay?
We're going to a
Another
whole
day.
new world right now.
That's
bro.
my opinion.
We'll touch that later
Say
on.
what you gotta say.
I believe in God. But if you're a douchebag and you are malicious and go out of your way to hurt people, you best believe that shit will come back around.
Yeah.
Those are the people that I don't want to be happy. And I thrive on that shit.
Okay, I think a little bit different than you do.
No, you don't. Because you know damn well that if someone went out of their way to hurt you or your family, or someone made fun of your mom, at the time, if it's not a big deal, you may like, you know what? That's how you feel. That's fine. You may back away. But you know.
Yeah, okay, sure.
One day.
Sure. That's like 0.11% of people in the world who would thrive on chaos.
You are not going to.
Psychopaths.
Yeah, psychopaths.
Wow.
Sociopaths, right?
Yeah, sociopaths. Yeah.
Whatever.
Regardless, I feel like no matter what, different opinions or not, we can coexist. We can live together. We can be happy, and everybody can do what they want. And we can go about our days. Just
I agree with that, but I still want to
enjoy.
live on an island by myself where I don't have to deal with this shit.
I'm not even surprised you want to do that.
You would too, dude.
But anyways,
You would too. You would come live on an island
No
with me
shot.
drinking Coronas out of a coconut all day. You 1,000% would.
I wouldn't mind that at all, dude. If
I know.
I feel like if I won the lottery, that's exactly what I
Dude,
do.
you best. I buy my mom a house.
Yeah,
and I'd go
that's
live in an
exactly what
island.
we'd do.
I
What
go
about your
live in an
dad?
island.
Not about your dad's house?
Anyways, John will buy his dad a house too. I don't care what he says. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to another session of Penthouse Therapy.
The goat.
I love you guys
Goats on
very,
goats.
very much. Thank you so much for listening.
Goats only. We appreciate all you homies out there.
Peace.
All you. Dude, can I say an outro, dude? It's gotta be you, bro. Like,
No thanks.
All right, we're done now.
No free ass.
okay.
Bye.
God bless.